Hey guys, you're about to get access into kind of my game collection and what I've been doing with all my games. I've talked about this is my TV setup, and as you can see, everything is kind of a mess here. I live in Milwaukee, and we just had like a huge rain event, rain-pocalypse that happened, and actually flooded my basement. It didn't flood like to where I had like huge standing water, but a lot of my shelves got soaked. I had a lot of kind of I had a little bit of standing water. It completely soaked through my carpet. I had carpet in the basement here, and I ripped all that out. I took out a lot of shelves that a lot of my games and my systems were standing on. And yeah, so I've basically been kind of, putting it off and trying to put everything back together. And I finally did. I'm kind of in the process of it right now. So I wanted to kind of take you on behind the scenes look on what it's looking like. So it's not necessarily, it's kind of a mess. I had to take out, this isn't the most glorious looking setup here. I mean, this is pretty much the junk that not a lot of people see, but all this will get cleaned up at some point. But yeah, this is kind of where I have a lot of my, grails, so to speak, complete inbox stuff. I don't collect complete inbox stuff a lot, but like this one's kind of one of my favorites. Like this box is pretty clean. And then I'm a huge Link to the Past fan, and even though this is a player's choice, I just love the art style of this. I love the way that kind of like rock pattern in the back looks really cool. F-Zero. When are you gonna make another one? An Illusion of Gaia. This is one of my favorites, if not my favorite RPG of all time. I'll probably talk about that in a later episode, but yeah, just some, kind of like random complete inbox stuff that I bought. This was exclusive to Midwest Gaming Classic. This came out a couple years ago, and this was kind of like an Excite bike for the Super Nintendo that just never got off the ground. So I think some developer, I forget who, Pico, maybe. It's not licensed by Nintendo, as you can see, but it was whoever picked it up basically completed development and gave us a Super Nintendo physical copy. But yeah, everything's kind of a mess and kind of all over the place. So these two shelves I just built, and these are the things that I picked up over the last couple months, and then I just haven't put away yet. This I've had for a while, so I just decided to play that earlier. But you recognize some of these. This was a cool one that I picked up recently. Grand Theft Auto 4, probably one of the better Grand Theft Autos ever. This is the complete collection. Let's see, what else do I have here? Splatterhouse 2. This is crazy. I don't know who B is, but thanks for marking your territory. This is my favorite Splatterhouse. And unfortunately, buying this complete in box is like $200, $300. But like loose, I think I paid like $70 for it. So it's kind of the same with Rystar. I mean, this isn't the best label. You can probably tell. But, it's another thing where it's like the cases are more than the freaking, games themselves. Outrun, Lightning Force, Thunder Force 2. That's another good one. And then, I think I already had that game before. Continuing on with Sega, Carrier. This is a really bad survival horror game, but I have it. Let's see, The Ring. This is also another really bad survival horror game, but I also have it. Oh yeah, I talked about this. I talked about these repros that I got. It's the same with this one. This isn't the actual copy of Illbleed. This is a repro, as you can see. I think like you can tell by some of the art. Pick that up. This is kind of like not a repro, but this is like a game that was made after the Dreamcast had pretty much died off. Pretty cool side-scrolling shooter. Skies of Arcadia. This is a really good one. Let's see, Power Slave. Got that stuff. Xenogears. It's the greatest hits collection, but it's okay. This I wish I could play. This is all in Japanese text, and this is a text-based adventure. And trying to play this with Google Translate on at the same time, not fun. This is also in Japanese, but the voice acting is in English, but the text is also in Japanese. But that's a little bit easier to play with Google Translate. These are my PS2 games. Oh my god. This was a pretty cool game. I'm not going to go through all of these. But as you can see, this game is weird. This game was supposed to be Metal Gear Solid. But I think this is developed by Suda 51, I think. Yeah, it's just a weird game. This is a horror trap simulator. This isn't based on the band at all. Yeah, some of these games you saw before. So, God, what else do I have here that I picked up? Urban Chaos. This is a really good game. Silent Hill Scope. I'll one day get the gun for it. Metal Slug 3. Yeah, I got some of these. Yeah, this is another one. It's a repro copy of Burning Rangers. I saw this game at Retro Rick's and was going for $700, but I have the repro copy. You know, some people like it, others don't. This is another repro copy. Panzer Dragoons Y. This is a solid game. Shinobi Legends. Heck yeah. And then Die Hard Arcade. Let's see. Gauntlet Legends. Ridge Racer 64. Shatterhand. Hell yeah. Then Vice. Project Doom. Okay, it's pretty much done. Floor is clean. The carpet's kind of ripped like this because of the flood, pretty much. Like you can, I mean, I had carpet down here at some point, but you know, it's just had to rip it out. And then this part here in this room wasn't as bad as the kind of like the main area, but you know, I was able to rip out a little bit of carpet here, you know, and try to salvage some of this stuff. I mean, you know, it is what it is, but otherwise, yeah, here is everything in its magical glory. Sorry for the green tint if that shows up, but yeah, this is kind of the interesting section. I got some cool stuff, like I got the Doom controllers, pretty sick, and then the 30th anniversary PlayStation controller. This was actually easier to find than I thought it'd be. Then these are just some of the systems that I don't have hooked up. The freaking Nomad, way ahead of its time. And then, you know, the not quite the Tower of Power, but this I got from a coworker at work. He had it lying around and he said he didn't know what to do with it. Maybe I'd be interested in it. It's always cool to find those little gems that people... Oh, this is... I kind of put this here temporarily. Well, I'll have to figure it out. But anyway, yeah. So we got PSP, Vita, you know, most of the bangers that the Vita had. Then PSP, you got some of the stuff. Mega Man X, Maverick Hunter, like really good remake of Mega Man X. Almost wish we can get that on the modern consoles, but 32, 3DS, 32. I am tired as hell. This is like after like hours and hours of putting all this crap away, so you guys are getting me in my element. Got all the Castlevania games for the DS, really cool. Dementum games, some good horror games for the DS. Chinatown Wars, and back there I got Resident Evil. This is cool because back here I put like two 2x4s. You can kind of see here, just to give it kind of like a stacked look. You know, and then you can fit more space. You can fit more games on these shelves. And then Switch stuff. I'm not going to go through all these things, but because I'll look at these things. But yeah, otherwise left some space open here because these are going to be populated. So PS5, Xbox Series X, and then One, then 360. Anything interesting for the 360? I mean, like, this one is kind of going up in price for whatever reason. I mean, it's not a great game, but it's an interesting game, to say the least. Yeah. This was an interesting game. And then also this one, too. That was Yeah, this was the Game of Thrones kind of like third-person action adventure game. So actually, this I wish they would continue the series of this. Army of Two was a really good series. So anyway, what's up here? Anything interesting there? Nah, not really. I mean, Silent Hill 4 for the Xbox. That's pretty cool. Glare. But yeah, Splinter Cell games. Hoping they continue with that. Anything down here? There's Dino Crisis 3 over there. Death Row, that was an interesting game. Bam. This is one of my, God, look at this. I mean, just such good condition. I got 2 copies of Blood Rain. I don't know why, but yeah, this is a game. Then Chronicles of Riddick. This was I totally missed out on this game when it first came out. Then I heard about it later on when I was kind of like, I think, watching YouTube, and someone talked about like Curse, one of the kind of like best survival horror games on the Xbox, and man, it actually holds up pretty good. Interesting game. So PlayStation 4 stuff. This is just kind of like your run-of-the-mill stuff that, you know, nothing really expensive here. Then PS3, I think, is the system I have the most of. I'd have to look again. Not this one. This is not a good version of Silent Hill 2 and 3 to get on modern hardware. I don't know. This is Initial D. Your PlayStation 3 is region free. So, Tony Pepperoni, I'm going to be playing these games soon. If you know who Tony Pepperoni is, you know. But, yeah, then we can get into some good stuff of the PS2. Wild Arms, that's a series I'm collecting for. Wild Arms 5 is pretty expensive. So, I don't know if I'll ever get that. But, Trapped, you saw me play that. Or you saw me show that. I got all the SOCOM games for what it's worth. Sly Cooper games. Yeah. Silent Hill 2, 3, 4, and Origins. I have Shattered Memories for the PSP and the Wii. The PSP, I have the Japanese version, which is much cheaper than... I got to get a condition upgrade of this, because you can see the white looks different than 2 and 3. But Okami... This is on my forever must-play. I played the game, I just never beat it. So, talked about those games. I don't know why I have Kingdom Hearts games. I've never played these games, and I don't think I really want to. Yeah, because I ride a Harley, I have to. I have to have this. Oh, yeah, this little game. That's a game I'm glad I kept. I'm really glad I kept that. So I don't even know how much it's worth now. Well over $300. So these are getting expensive. Interesting. That was an interesting TV show actually back then. Kind of okay game. Where was it? Rise to Honor. That was a really interesting game because it starred Jet Li, and it like the fighting mechanics were, you know, with the joystick, and they actually carried that over in Blade 2. So it's a really unique fighting game mechanic. Or third-person action mechanic. This game was pretty cool. Like, I loved the hell out of this game. Clock Tower 3. And then, yeah, I did kind of like the same stacking method with the... I don't know what knocked over behind me, but these are Japanese games I didn't know what to do with, so I'll just put that away. This is the cheapest way to get... Super Metroid just sitting out here. What the heck? This is the cheapest way to get Chrono Trigger, the Japanese version. So, Legend of Dragoon, that's on your PS5 with a little updated graphics. I don't really know if there's anything too interesting here. Silent Hill back there, because you know I'm a Silent Hill fan. Got the Resident Evil titles there. Here are the kind of like oddball, like Sega Saturn games and the Dreamcast games. Guys of Arcadia, I forgot to put back. So it's just sitting there now. And then these shelves weren't tall enough to fit the Saturn games upright, so I just stacked them like this. I know I could move them around, but I had like worked my way from the bottom up, and then I was like, no way, I'm not arranging this. I don't think I really could. So yeah, Panzer Dragoon games, Nights in the Dreams. I don't think I have any kind of like real big banger on the Sega Saturn, but got some Sega CD stuff. This, for some reason, is an expensive game. College Soccer. Is that what it was? Championship Soccer. This is like $100. A sports game, no less. My Lonely 32X collection, and then some of my Sega Genesis stuff. Truxton. Was never a fan of side-scrolling shooters, but or shoot-em-ups, whatever they call them. But that's actually a really good game. I got Lightning Force 2 I'll talk about later. Splatterhouse 3. This is a repro copy. I don't have the actual game of this. So this is a repro copy. You could see the Genesis, the difference of the Genesis logo compared to, if I can get rid of the glare. Yeah. See, a little different. But yeah, then rest of the Sega Genesis collection's down here. Gunstar Heroes, that was a really good one. Some Wii and Wii U. The Trauma Team and Trauma Center games are so much fun. I mean, I work in the medical field, so of course I have an affinity to those games. And yes, they are not realistic, but you know, they're still fun. So Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 4, like I got all of them. I should probably actually, yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very cool. BMX Triple X. The raunchiest version is the Gamecube version. I got these 3D printed from someone. Pretty cool. I need to get more because I got kind of a stack up here, so nothing really interesting besides the staples. I don't collect much for Nintendo 64, so and then Super Metroid I'm gonna have to find a place for. Where's my Chrono Trigger? Where's my Chrono Trigger? Right there. I feel like I should display that, but you know. And then my Nintendo stuff. So I think going over this is about 2,000, a little over 2,000. So collection's continually growing. So yeah, I showed that earlier. But yeah, I mean, at some point, I may need to get another shelf because I have a feeling I'm gonna run out of room real quick. I feel like I've keep buying shelves and bookcases, so that's gonna this is a problem. This is a problem.